Now, dealing with trauma. One thing that I want to discuss a little bit today is integral mindfulness. Okay, so on the lower left, there's a lot of things we can do. I was telling you earlier that in Israel, when there's a terrorist bombing and somebody comes to the ER, the first thing they do in the ER now is they call everybody in their family to come hang out with them. They found that when we hang out around people we love and that love us, we do well. They found out with schizophrenia, if you're developing schizophrenia as a 17 or 18-year-old, what you need to do is to get on your meds and get into a culture that's a supportive culture and to stay in that culture, hopefully your school and your family, get back to it and stay in it as much as possible. And they have way better outcomes for schizophrenia. We do know that caring human society heals us and supports us. Mm-hmm. And so what do we want to do? Well, one, I want to be a generator of caring human society. If I pass you on the trail, and I pass a lot of people on the trail, we all look aside and, step 5 or 6 feet away. I try to make a joke or good vibe somebody and tell everybody to have a good day. And I mean it. I want them to have a good day. And I see them smile. I see their hearts open up. We should do that with each other all the time. Okay? So do it with ourselves, do it with the people we love, do it with everybody. A good thing to think about activities outside of the house is, let me see. How necessary is it, and am I willing to risk my life for it? Becky said, you're all out of sweet potato chips. Maybe I should go get them. I said, you willing to risk your life to get me sweet potato chips? And even more, am I willing for you to risk your life to forget? No, I'm really not.
It's not like it's ice cream.
Yeah, it's not like it's chocolate. It's not like it's something that's a staple, right? Okay, so that sense of being around people, keeping our sense of humor and loving each other, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, this thing is not the devil. It's a virus, all right? So one of my clients who's sick, she's living in a house with her 2 kids and her husband, and they're not sick yet. Because, the husband and the kids are washing their hands all the time. She's staying in a couple of rooms. They're having basic hygiene. And so far, nobody, her and their friends who live next door, none of them are sick yet. So, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay away from people. That will work. Okay? So just have that sense of it. And the longer that we go doing those things, and the more we continue it, the better able we're going to be to take care of people. And still most of the people that get this get through it. Right. So it's just good to be aware of that and to support each other and help each other. Now, on a personal level, how do we deal with this? Well, let's talk about integral mindfulness for just a second, okay? Integral mindfulness takes into account pretty much everything on all 4 quadrants. And one thing that people don't understand is the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system and the vagal system and the vagal pause. We don't spend much time in sympathetic fight, flight, or in parasympathetic collapse. We spend most of our time socially engaged. That's when our vagus system, that's our tense cranial nerve, is telling us we're safe. And then our face says, I'm safe, and our connections say we're safe. And then we're able to engage in social intercourse with ourselves and with other people. Okay, that's our nervous system, basically our unconscious, our adaptive unconscious, our shadow self, judging the world. If I feel safe in the present moment, then okay, I can engage with myself and engage with you. You can't get there by thinking about it or analyzing. And you really can't get there talking to another person pretty generally. You need to get grounded in the present moment in your own body first. And so integral mindfulness starts by being aware of the present moment. And that's connected to the part of your brain, orbital frontal cortex, all the way in this mohawk, all the way down back. We anchor in the present moment. Like everybody, feel your feet on the floor right now. As you feel your feet on the floor right now, you feel your toes in your shoes and your feet on the floor, you're getting anchored in the present moment. And your nervous system is going, I'm not sick right now and I'm not injured. I'm listening to Keith and Corey. I'm kind of okay right now. Okay? So you're getting anchored in the present moment. Now, at that point in integral mindfulness, you go into a mindfulness practice. And all the mindfulness practices basically have the same characteristics. The woman who did the research on this is Ruth Baer. Okay, you're acting aware in the present moment. Okay, I'm acting in the present moment. I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of my sensations and my thoughts and my feelings. Okay. Um, I'm aware that I have judgments coming up, but I'm not following my judgments about people. I'm noticing them and allowing myself to step away from them. I'm labeling and describing my inner experience with words. As I do that, I'm connecting my hemisphere and getting grounded. And I'm not being particularly reactive. So probably right now, if you're looking at me in this and you're feeling your feet on the ground and you're going, what am I feeling? And aware of your breath going in and out. In breath, your heart rate goes up. Out breath, your heart rate goes down. As you practice that, you develop better vagal tone, which makes you feel safe in the present moment. Okay, that's mindful awareness. Now, integral mindfulness is, okay, now that I'm in the present moment, I'm in the midst of a million processes that I have to manage consciously and unconsciously. And those processes are generally managed by habits, 40 to 60% of the time, habits. And they're good habits and bad habits. And so for me, there's a good habit of keeping my sense of humor and staying connected to other people and wishing for the highest good and being grateful for the present moment. Okay, that's a good habit. When I do that, I go for it, Keith. If I have a bad habit of obsessing about something or getting anxious about the future or the past or getting lost in some negative or getting partisan, getting all pissed off at Trump because he's a terrible leader. If I do that habit and indulge it, man, I'm out of my mindfulness state and I'm beginning to create stress hormones. So I don't want to go there. Okay, I see that happening. That's a bad habit. And so I want to send my attention into a good habit. What's a good habit? Getting centered in the present moment, connecting into my body, connecting to mindful awareness and non-reactivity and non-judgment, and having compassionate understanding for everything. And then when I act, I want to act aware. I want to act in service of the highest good. Okay? That's integral mindfulness. It's using the integral perspectives, which are the most comprehensive set of perspectives any of us has discovered. That's what got us into integral, to guide us in the present moment to serve the highest good. And we do it by anchoring in the present moment with mindfulness, and then integral mindfulness takes us that extra step. And us doing that together turns all of us into leaders. Why? Because the person who does that has deep consciousness, and the people with the deepest consciousness are the people that need to contextualize this for everybody and for ourselves, and need to help everybody get grounded, help everybody get through, help everybody use this as an opportunity to uplevel everything, to uplevel the culture. Complex systems are fascinating. We've had a horrible flu season 50 of the last 50 years. It hasn't been anything like this. A lot of people have died. This is something dramatically different about this one. A little push into a collective at the right time, at the right place can cause a phase shift.
Yeah.
And this is what I want. I want the phase shift to get a lot of exit green people in the teal and a lot of orange people in the green. I'm hoping it's going to happen, and I'm imagining it. I'm doing all my manifestation practices. And I'm keeping that thought in terms of this is not going to make us less world-centric on the other side of this as we all help each other through it. I think it'll make us more world-centric, even though there'll be parts of the world where authoritarian regimes will seize power. And there'll be a lot of crazy stuff that's going on. In the midst of it, let's practice integral mindfulness. Let's help each other through this thing. Let's come out of it like everybody came out of World War II. That was pretty great. The world was in a pretty great spot right then. The free world. Interestingly, in the fascist states, everything got a lot worse. And that's cautionary. But certainly the contrast between democracy and communism and fascism was on bleak display during those 15 or 20 years. And so there are a lot more democracies in the world now, and there's a lot less war. And so that's what I'm hoping.
Right. Well, and as Rob says, it's all about having the right kinds of contradictions. And it could be that this sort of momentary regression that we're seeing back, dipping back into various flavors of authoritarianism might be a regression in service of the collective. It might be creating the right kinds of conflicts, the right kinds of contradictions that's going to allow the rubber band to kind of snap again, to hopefully pull itself back up. I mean, my sense is we're going to see both, right? We're going to see sort of a pulling up of certain people, and we're going to see a regressive kind of pushing down of people simultaneously. And as always, like Ken likes to say, it's a bit of a horse race in terms of who's going to win the day.
So the cognitive structures for processing exist now. You know, Bina's polarity process, which, you know, I still just love that process. I refer to it all the time. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in the leaders. I haven't seen them saying this is the healthy, unhealthy part of everything. Let's try to find the healthy parts of different points of view and move forward. These structures now are in the collective. In Brazil, I was just talking to a bunch of people in Brazil on Tuesday. They asked me to talk to them about what's going on. And Brazil, they don't have much leadership at the top, very much. Bolsonaro's psychology is very much like Trump's psychology. But in Sao Paulo, the governor there is it's very much like California. Everybody's trying to help each other. They're trying to do stay at home. And interestingly, while we were doing the podcast, we got hacked. And all of a sudden there was all these penises and Nazis.
Oh, you got Zoom bombed.
We got Zoom bombed. And then we had to restart 2 or 3 times. And I went, God, this is really the yin and the yang of culture. Some red teenager who didn't have much else to do found us and Zoom bombed us. And, you know, I was bemused as I was watching it happen, waiting for them to straighten it out. I was going, God, humanity. You know, all the value memes are all still here, right? We all have to grow through all of them. They all interact all the time.
And they're all flared up.
Yeah, they're all flared up. Everybody's all activated right now. And here comes a bunch of just random red, just kind of just jamming their random red foot in the middle of our thing. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
So we deal with it and then we move on. We didn't waste a lot of energy on random red.
Right.